All right. Operation maintenance of diesel electrical locomotive, Chapter 6, engine cooling water system. The care servicing the coil system is important maintenance of matter. The cooling system is designed to carry away to disperse excess heat generated in the engine. Usually consists of the water circulating pump, radiator, expansion tank, a heat exchanger, lube oil, cooler, fan, shutter, various gauges, flat valves, fillings, venting, drain connections, water lines, turbochargers, cab heaters also connected on the system. Pump is usually mounted on or driven by the engine, and the fan may be mechanically driven or motor driven. The amount of the air force through the radiator varies with the speed of the fans. The number of the fans running, the setting at the shutters varying in the particular model. 30. Water pump. A water circulating pump central figure consists chiefly of the impeller hosing of the drive shaft, the hosing and bearing assemblies, and characteristics of some pumps of the small amount of water that drip through the packing gland. The water serves to lubricate the packing and the preventing of the bearing seizure. If there is a drop of water every few seconds, the nut should be not be tightened any further, because excessive leakage of the packing can be caused by worn shaft bushing, which can be recognized as a continual shattering of the shaft. 31. Radiators and shutters generally consist of two cores units located at each side of the locomotive just below the roof of each of the front side of the consists of several bolted sections of the water header from the piping and the connections tubes, and the rectangular cross sections are held in continuous fins extending across the core. Assembly. Copper fins and seamless tubes of the silver solder and tube ends at the braids of the tube sheaths to form the rigid assembly. The air driven through the rails built beside the radiator exhausts upwards through the roof. The radiator and the fan open. The roof and sides are usually covered with shutters. The shutters are sometimes omitted with the typical service and insulated for the every tightening, closing, and very cold regions. The shutters may be opened and closed automatically, connecting the temperature and the control system that they may be set manually. 32. The temperature control. The efficient diesel engine depends on a great deal to maintain it even in the water temperature in the cooling system. The thermostat controls the coolant temperature into the engine, while the temperature gauge in the cab tells the operator how hot the engine with water is. As it is, leaves in the engine approximately 10 degrees difference at the full load. And the engine is too cool, the fuel combustion is retarded, the engine is hot, there will be a breakdown in lubrication oil pump, possible serious damage engine, and the automatic temperature control system is not installed. The operator should set the shutter manually to restrict the flow of the air when the water temperature is too low, or the open shutters when the water temperature is too high. The temperature is regulated automatically. Thermostatic controls on closing the shutters and the change to the speed of the fans. The motor-driven automatically system of the regulated manually, and thermostatic controls. The design of the control system varies with completely automatically system of the consisting temperature control, operating shutter control valve, pneumatically operated shutter contactors in the fan motor circuits, an alarm, and a protective device. The electric portion of the Alright, pause. We're gonna look at these views real quick. Alright, this shows the radiators, while the water and oil goes through the radiators. It goes through a shutter control from the water, oil, and radiator to the return line, which goes to an overflow vent, which also splits into another section. From the water vane, it goes into the expansion tank, water glasses, the vent, through the vent, and into the water header. The water suction passages into the engine block, where the return line follows through the water suction passage, engine block, engine drain block, drainage from the pumping, packing, draining filing hose, cab heater in the return, and the supercharger, cab heater, thermometer, cable, and cable in a circus. This is a central figure water pump that shows with the lock nut, pump, drive gear, bearing, space, gaskets, oil, straining, seal, packing gland, packing, voltal, backhead, gasket, vent, cock, value, impeller, wearing rings, thrush, brushing, acorn nut, black washer, wearing rings, suction, gasket, gauge head, gauge connection, shaft, guide bearing, shaft pump thrust, pump frame, cover plate, and packaging gland nut is viewed from above. I'm going to switch back over to the other rereading. Sorry about the Pause. The section is described in electrical section. Air, the pneumatic portion, is applied with the main air reserve, reducing the valve. The thermostatic air valve is installed with the engine of the water line, controls the flow of the air to the automatic pneumatic equipment. The temperature controls the shown in figure 26 of the group of the pneumatic relays. These relays can be set open and closed. The electrical switches definite sequence as variation temperatures change and the air pressure on the relays. The switch determines the serious setting of the fan motor contacts, resistance, eddy current, clutch field. As according to the design, these settings determine the speed of the motor-driven fans. The shutters are set by the shutter operator, which may be simply enclosed in air position or graduate stat or graduate motor, which is regulatory features. C. A simple air piston, probably the shutter magnet valve in the airline, such as valve may be set in the temperature controller to temperature is quite low and the fans are not running to open the shutters. The temperature rises, especially anytime the fans are running in there. Manually set shutters valve locomotive in the simplest open shutter valve, the air leading into the shutter operation. All portions of the alarm and the protective features are electrical except for the temperature element of the hot engine switch. The electrical description of the equipment is contained in Chapter 11. Shutter limit switches are installed and are mechanically linked to the shutters are arranged for the electrical circuit interlocked with the shutter position center electrical equipment, thereby preventing the operating using the shutter to be set properly. 33. The water supply. Water level expansion located in the highest position of the system is equipped with the site level glass overflow, keeping the system full. Water should always show in side of the glass and leaks of the water system or suspected engine must be endeavored to locate while the engine is warm. In the report such as leaks of the daily inspection worksheet, the Department of Defense Form 862, Figure 81. Following the system, most locomotives have a filler overflow pipe under each of the side of the platform, which has a hose connected to supply the water under the pressure. With the system in the flow, the water flows from the other side. The filler pipe of the roof is generally used in the antifreeze solution only. In a refilling system, engines should be operated with a few minutes to expel the tramp air, and additional water should be supplied when necessary. Water should be added to the cooling system only when the engine is cool. It is necessary to add the water to the warm engine above 120 degrees. Use warm water and add very slowly. Drain cooling system. To complete the draining of the cooling system, it is necessary to open several drain cocks and drain plugs. Be sure that the water can flow freely from the engine block, radiator, turbocharger, oil cooler, heat exchanger, water heater, and cab heaters. The water treatment. Engine cooling with water is treated with remove the hardness to minimize corrosion and remove the suspended impurities. Proper concentrates of the water treatment compound must be maintained at all times. Hardness is a term that expresses the presence of the scale performing with the salts in raw water, which when heated in normal engine operating temperature, which would deposit sludge, form the scale. Scale and sludge restrict the heat and transfer circulation, are difficult to remove. The hardness can be removed using a water softener. The manufacturer instruction for the use of commercial compounds approved with the Department of Army should be followed. Do not use the boiler water treatment compound. Oil avoid compounds will attack the connection cylinder, gaskets, and fitted joints. Do not pour dry compounds into the radiator as may they clog the system. Treat the water separator container at first. Allow any We'll get back to that drawing. Solids to settle before the drawing solution off the engine. Improper and effective treatment will result in clogged radiators, water jackets, corroded cylinder liners. Caution: treatment compounds should be not allowed to come into contact with the human body. Strong alkali may cause the skin eruptions and wash promptly. If accident spilled on the person. Cold weather. During a layover period, if the freezing the engine cool, water should be heated and drained. Antifreeze and added to it. Steam from the internal source can be admitted through the filler pipe. Special steam emission line when so posed is equipped. The water can be heated in separate electrical water heaters. The check of the amount of the water heated in the water after the heat and the steam becomes the solution weakened by the running of the engine in idle speed during the responsible period of layover is acceptable method of preventing the frozen water system. Antifreeze solution should be used and approved with the component authority. This will allow all mixtures of inhibitors. Back to this last drawing, and then that's the end of the chapter. Okay, we're going to zoom out. Okay, this is a schematic of the temperature control diagram. It starts at the main reserve cutout cock and the 70-pound reduction valve at the air filter to the test connection with a loop around. Well, all four components have the 17 pressure reducing gauge, air gauge, relief valve, and the to a thermostat in the water to the engine, which goes to pneumatic electrical relays. Inside the circuit is a hot engine temperature switch within the water from the engine. From the thermostat and from the line from those it goes into graduated motors and then back to a air filter and the other main reserve cutout cock. And I'm gonna post this video because this chapter 6 has actually had to be redone because it wouldn't download.